Hey, welcome to another episode of Business Mojo and Margaritas, where I get all up in your business in 20 minutes or less. I am Suzanne Proksa, your host, business strategist and coach for female entrepreneurs, and my jams just happen to be client attraction and marketing. So let's not delay any further. Let's dive in. Welcome, everybody. Suzanne Proksa, business strategist and coach for female entrepreneurs. As I mentioned, I am under the weather, but darn it, I have work to do. So we are doing double duty today where I am doing this presentation live for you, and I'm also going to use the information on the podcast. So if you are somebody who would rather just listen to the awesome Business Mojo and Margaritas episode, girl, you can totally do that. So love to have you either place. So first of all, let's just kind of click through here. And if you don't know who I am, I'm guessing you do if you are on my business page, my personal page, or my group page. But I will introduce myself anyway. I have been a business strategist, coach, and consultant for over 3 years. Started as a certified health and wellness coach, still do hold that title. I just don't practice it, except for I will be in an upcoming program that I have for amazing women with chronic illness that I will be doing with one of my favorites, Lisa Sipkar. And also an AADP certified holistic health practitioner. A lot of people don't know that. I still get a lot of emails with people with all kinds of advice for my illnesses. I'm like, no, I've got it handled, lady love. Human resources manager and training expert for over 19 years. I know I'm totally aging and dating myself with that. But that's where I get those skills from. If you ever wondered, how did this girl learn how to do all this stuff? That's where. I am also a podcast host, which if you're on the podcast, you're like, girl, I know this. Business Mojo and Margaritas. And then I also have an inspirational podcast full of episodes with women who've overcome amazing odds called Triumphant Tiaras. And you can find them both all over. I mean, seriously, iTunes. And of course, now I'm drawing a blank. iHeartRadio, Spotify. I mean, seriously, everywhere. And then I've also been published on Medium, Thrive Global, and Huffington Post. Very proud of all of that. I am the fearless leader of the group, Business Mojo and Margaritas as well. If you are not in, would love to have you join us. Just head over to fempreneurs.biz, but make sure you fill out the answers to the questions so that we know that you're actually in business and that it's a great fit for you. Now, the first thing I want to say, now some of you will be coming to this presentation from this freebie, but for those of you who aren't, I want to let you know about a new freebie that is out there that people are snatching up left and right. Apparently, I'm not the only one who's disenchanted and bored with Facebook, who grinds their teeth every time they go into a group and they see the same old posts. So this is for you if you are that person. And it's called the Facebook Disenchanted Girl's Guide to Marketing. And here's the link to get it, SuzanneProksa.com/P/Facebook-Disenchanted. And it is a great guide that talks about all of the different places where you can market and who it may be best suited for and what it's best suited for. So if you are coming from that freebie, then this will help you dive a little bit deeper. And if you don't have the freebie yet, this will be a great start for you, and you can put the information together and completely rock your shit. So first thing we're going to talk about is, what are you trying to accomplish? Okay, so remember, we're talking about how to determine where your visibility time is best spent. Okay, so what is it exactly that you are trying to accomplish? You should have goals in trying to do this, obviously. Otherwise, you're just kind of going out there throwing shit at a wall. And of course, we know that that just does not stick, right? So what are you trying to accomplish? Are you trying to, and do take notes, are you trying to establish know, like, and trust? build those relationships. If you're trying to establish know, like, and trust, some of the best for that are Facebook, LinkedIn. You would actually be surprised how good LinkedIn is now. It has definitely changed. I used to shy away from it. It was all stodgy, didn't seem to produce a lot of results. And I got to tell you, to be honest, I get some fantastic interaction over on LinkedIn, and it is so much easier to connect with people over there. I just absolutely freaking love it. And then, of course, like I say in my freebie advertisements, you don't have to see Aunt Margaret's bunion like you do all over Facebook. All right. So there's Facebook, LinkedIn. Now, granted, I fully realize that some of these aren't social media. I'm not a dummy. But there's YouTube, which of course is one of your search engines, Instagram, podcasts, and publications. So those are great for know, like, and trust. And, while I certainly never tell people to do too much, and we'll actually talk about this later, at least choose two that are really strong. Okay. So are you trying to build relationships? Well, then Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram are fabulous for that. And you may say, girl, Instagram, you have lost your mind. It is true. Instagram, I talk to women all the time who say that Instagram is their thing. It is their jam, and they like to hang out there because they get way more interaction and it has more quality to it, if you can believe that, than what they get on Facebook. There are women who have ditched Facebook completely and just hang out on Instagram. Next goal, are you trying to sell a product or service? And you've already got a warm audience. That's the disclaimer. It's a lot easier if you have the warm audience already on these platforms, but Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest are great for that. Now, if you don't have a warm audience yet, I will say that, with live video being so hot and Instagram stories being so addictive and people are actually paying attention to it, you probably could go in there, not probably, you could go in there cold and create a warm audience. You really could. It's just, you're going to need some serious hashtag work and just really getting people interested and being interesting yourself and providing something new that everybody else isn't doing, which actually isn't hard. I think it's just that everything you see out there online right now is teaching the same old shit over and over. And that's why you go into Facebook groups and you see these posts from people that all look the freaking same and just make you want to gag. Okay. So, are you trying to show leadership? Then, and these are not in the order that I would tell clients, FYI. If you're trying to show leadership, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, podcast, publications, and that's because those places are places where you can post value, whether it be videos or content posts, etc. Those are places where you can post some really good value. So, and then if you're trying to get seen, this is me and my silly sense of humor, then all of them are good. Okay. So looking at my share on my personal page, you guys, I don't know if you're seeing this in real time, but I'm going to move on. It really does not look like you are. But if you go to my business page, you will see it. All right. So moving on. So the next thing you want to figure out is, where are they? So where are your people hanging out? Are they on social media? Are they in publications? Do they love podcasts? Are they brick and mortar people? I've got people everywhere except for, well, I suppose they're in the brick and mortar, but that's not my target area. My people are all over social media, publications, and podcasts. So you see me with a very wide reach, within reason, because you have to do it within reason or you will lose your sanity. So I do what I can with the time that I have and the help that I have. And those are my places. For people who are in health and wellness, Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook, podcasts, and publications are the very best for you. That is where people are hanging out. Instagram is super hot for health and wellness coaches. I think the thing that you really have to get down if you're doing that is, really getting those hashtags and being interesting, because, while I hate the terminology of the market saturated, the fact of the matter is that all of these markets, they are saturated. I mean, I was on Facebook today, and I was like, wow, it's just inundated. And how in the, you have to do something different to stand out. You really do. So like, things like this that I'm doing, not everybody is doing stuff like this, and they're definitely not doing the quality where they're doing an actual presentation. I just realized I didn't have my video on. There we go. Now hopefully you can see me as well. I'm sick, but I did put myself together today. Okay, so those of you on the podcast will not be able to see me. So health and wellness, Instagram's hot. Pinterest is really hot for everybody. This is something that I've really been diving into the last month or two, and have really gotten my reach up. I was really shocked to go in yesterday and see that while it's not super important to have followers in Pinterest, I was really excited to see though that my followers have like, I don't know, it's not quadrupled. What is it when it's 5 times what it was? It's 5 times what it was, you guys. So it's amazing, and Pinterest can really get you some action and some money while you sleep and all of that good stuff. And then of course there's Facebook, podcasts for health and wellness and areas that are saturated. I really, really, really like to see people do things that are more public. The podcasts, the publications, the places where you really truly can stand out, where you're just, the light is on you. Okay, that's the best way I can describe it. Where the light is on you, you are not in a crowd full of a bazillion people trying, hey, here I am. None of that. You are actually standing out because you are the one with the spotlight on you. Okay, so for business, just about everything applies. I mean, Facebook's great, Instagram's great, YouTube is fabulous, anything with video is fabulous. Pinterest, LinkedIn, podcast, publications, all of it for the reasons I've already stated. And then if you're someone who's selling products, if you don't know, I used to be an Etsy seller. I had an amazing candle business called Bliss Candles, and very successful. Was featured seller one weekend, which means that Etsy had their eyes on me, and that was not something I asked for. It was out of the blue. So I know my shit about selling products, and Instagram, Pinterest, and when I say forums, I mean anywhere where you can get in a forum. If you're an Etsy seller or anything that has a forum where you can actually share some expertise, make those friendships, relationships, etc., collaborate. And then of course, Facebook, although again, then you're clamoring to try to stand out. Okay. And then where have you seen success? Now ask yourself this. Now I know that there's some people out there who maybe feel like, they're just not seeing any success, they're frustrated, etc. And I want you to ask yourself this question first before we move on. I want you to ask yourself, are you actually doing the things where you actually can have the spotlight on you? Okay, so I've had people that I've told them, I'm like, get on podcasts, do your blog, put that shit all over Pinterest, get yourself in publications. And they stall and they hem and they haw, and a couple of years later, still stagnant, no clients, wondering why. So if you're in that situation where you're not seeing any results, realize that it may be because you're not in the right places. You're not doing the things that will allow you to stand out. Now, if you are seeing results, great, then you can answer this question. Are there certain places you've seen a result? And then those should be at the very top of your list, okay? So I am going to take a swig of coffee here for my ouchy throat. 1 second. Okay, and then here's another thing to look at. I'm just gonna hold on to this. Are there places others are seeing results? Now, again, I'm not into copycatting or anything like that. I think that's horrible behavior. It used to be really bad when I first got into coaching myself, left and right. But thankfully, it's not as much anymore. But are there places others are seeing results? Great. You see somebody who's killing it in your industry on Instagram, then you know Instagram is a good place to be. Now your goal is to deliver something better. What can you deliver better? What is different about you that you can put out there into the world? Okay. Visibility types. So do what you rock at. So I will preface with live video is queen. I know people hate to hear it, and there's coaches out there who say, oh, there's, you know, if they tell you live video is the only thing, then they're full of shit. Well, I'm not telling you it's the only thing, and I'll even tell my clients, you don't have to do live video, but you're not going to see, I don't think, the same level of success, because the face-to-face, there's a reason why I just turned on my video right now, because I'm like, holy crap, you guys can't see my face. You can't see me at all. It's not good, because people are just, if you've listened or read anything I've put out there lately, I've put out a lot of stuff. Relationships are key, and people want to know you, and they want to feel like they know you. There's a reason why people will sit there and go through Instagram stories. To me, it's somewhat crazy that people actually want to see like this step by step of your entire day. But the reason is because they want this. They want this FaceTime, and they want to get to know you. And it's kind of funny, you know, when I see people out there talking visibility, but they, you know, they're not building those relationships, and they're using caricatures and stuff like that. It's like, okay, well, you know, that very important piece just, it's not there. And so that's why, you know, some of the struggle may be there. Everybody's case is different. So, because as you know, if especially if you're somebody who's coached with me before, you know that I'm very flexible and try to develop customized plans for people just based on who they are, what they do, their strengths, and all that business. But let's not get off the track, shall we? That's what happens when you have ADD and you're sick at the same time, and you're drinking coffee in the middle of the day. Okay, so live video is queen. We know it, whether you like it or not. It is what it is. So strengths, you know, if your strengths are talking and presenting, then spend your time on Facebook Live, Instagram Live, podcasts, yours and theirs. I see great value in having anything of your own podcast, your own Facebook group, because you run the show and you can provide value bombs left and freaking right. And that's awesome. Yes, I'm singing for you because I still have a voice. I'm seriously. But being on other people's podcasts as well, that's social proof right there. If somebody asks you to be on their podcast, that's awesome. You know, I was asked to be in a really big summit. That is also, you know, pretty impressive. So where's your strengths? If it's talking and presenting, those are some things. Live events, you could speak at live events. YouTube, guest spots, audios, any of that that's going to really focus and shed a light on those strengths of talking and presenting. Now, I'm not talking about, you know, if you're like really good at chit chat. I'm talking about you can rock a presentation like no other. All right. Is your strength written? Okay, so there's ways to do that. Okay, so your strengths are written, you hate video. I dare say, you know, a lot of those ladies who write those lengthy posts in Facebook groups, they claim that they're just killing it. They're making six figures. They rocked it in 6 months. Okay, that tells me either they're full of shit or it's possible, and I would lean toward it's possible, because they wouldn't be putting all that time in if that wasn't working for them. But they are, a lot of them are also doing all of the other things. It's a package, you guys, when you do this, it's a package. It's a strategy. So engaging posts, like I talked about, get yourself into publications. It's actually not that hard. It really isn't. You just have to figure out how each publication wants you to pitch them. It's not hard at all. Blogs, your own blog is a gold mine. You know, we went for a solid year where people are like, you don't need a website, blah, 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 blah. It was the thing to kind of, make themselves move up the charts and look like rebels. And holy crap balls, are you freaking kidding me? Here's the thing. Because if you have your own blog, your own website, that is stuff of your own where you can show your stuff. Not only can you show your stuff, but you put something in each article to build your list that people can sign up for, and you pin that. When you pin something to Pinterest, Pinterest is a search engine. It is there for a very long time. There are people making money off of Pinterest on pins they pinned months ago. Why would you not have blog? Freebies that emphasize your skills, like my new one. I freaking love that thing. Audio where you can read and record. If these are your strengths, do it. All right, so we're going to combine these things. So where do these things intersect? Okay, so we talked about where your people are. We talked about your strengths. We talked about what places are good for different things and different people. So do your strengths lend to something under the goals and locations that we talked about? So, if you're really good at being on video, does that strength lend to something under those goals and locations that we talked about? Of course it does. So write yourself some notes about where you might be able to focus a little more time. Is that intersection something where you've seen success? Okay, so have you already done some of these things? Great. If you've seen success, make a note of that, however you're writing this stuff down. And then is that intersection, remember intersection between all these things, somewhere that you can accomplish your goals? So I would hope that, if you're in business, that you have goals, this many clients or this many courses, or you've got something you're launching in a couple months and you know how many people you want to get in there. You're journaling the living F out of it and all of that. So is that intersection somewhere that you can accomplish your goals? And then underlined in the presentation, which my podcast beauties cannot see, is do that. If you've got things intersecting, you want to be doing those things. So just checking here. All right, cool. Got people in the group watching. Hello, ladies. Do ask questions and I will get to them if I can't see them. I am looking on my business page right now, but if you ask questions in the group or comment in the group or on my personal page, I will absolutely get back with you, okay? All right, so the last thing I want to talk about, and I kind of touched on this earlier, was don't overwhelm. All right, so as entrepreneurs, the women that I love and the women that I love to work with are the go-getters. They're not taking no for an answer. They are hell-bent on success and freedom and all the things, and not making it isn't even in their vocabulary. Like they're like, this is my thing and this is what I'm going to do, and get the out of my way. So, but that lends itself to overwhelming. Okay, I do this all the damn time because that person I just described is me. I'm the same freaking way. I just absolutely refuse to fail. So don't overwhelm yourself thinking, oh my gosh, I got to do all these things. Okay, so first of all, be careful to only do what you can without overwhelming yourself. Now, granted, the great thing is that there's help out there. So if there's things that you can use a VA for, use a scheduler for, make sure that you do that. Swig of coffee. My throat's starting to rebel. It's like, girl, you are sick. What are you doing? Okay. So you do not have to be everywhere. And if you ever talk to any of the people that I've worked with before, I never, ever, ever recommend to people being everywhere. Now, granted, if you can pull it off, like if you can have a team like Gary Vee does to get yourself everywhere, I mean, look at the success he's got with that. But he also makes a crap ton of money and he can pay a crap ton of people to do all that work for him and do those beautiful videos and all the fancy audio and all that shit. Okay. But you do not have to be everywhere. If you choose your top 2 where you think you can make an impact, that's a great starting place. And then once you're rolling in the dough, dollar bills, y'all, then you can pay somebody to take care of some of the rest. Okay. And then spread those beautiful wings. Again, you do not have to do all of the things. And if you are blessed to be good at everything, I have to admit, I am in that category. It is really hard to narrow down, especially when you have ADD and coffee in the middle of the afternoon, which I never do. So my health coach friends, don't hate. I'm doing it because my throat's killing me. And I mean, really seriously, that's my only defense. That's why I'm doing it. It'll probably jack up my cortisol. So if you're blessed to be good at everything, and some of you are, I mean, I've been in this community for over 3 years, and some people are just good at every damn thing. Choose your top 2 and start there, like I said, and then work your way into doing more, okay? But if you overwhelm yourself, the reason I even made this a slide, like devoted a slide to this, is if you overwhelm yourself, you will quit, you will do a shitty job. I guarantee it. I've been there, I've done that, and I know what it looks like, okay? So, you like my little gift, you guys? Oh, you podcast ladies can't see my dancing grannies. It's too bad. So I just want to really quick tell you guys, some of you have seen my stuff about Sue's Crew Elite. I have moved that back to October for obvious reasons. This stinking illness that I'm dealing with, it has a 4 to 8 week recovery. So the reason you guys have not seen a ton of me is that I'm just desperately trying to, you know, run the business, put some stuff out there for you while getting better. So I am moving this to October. And then, but you can actually, if you want to sign up now and get access to the membership site and everything, all the courses, you absolutely can. It is not blocked off. I don't have on there, only let people start seeing the things October 1st. You can absolutely jump in now and get those things if you want to. It's inexpensive enough that you may just want to do that and just get started on some of the courses. So Sue's Crew Elite, if you don't know what it is, you guys have been asking me forever to have open up my membership site. I've been putting stuff in this thing for like 2 years now. It's crazy. It's like, you know, when you talk about the mindset thing where people just don't do their shit and put it out there, this is a classic example. And I cannot explain to you why. I mean, I know why, but hello. So it's got a Facebook group with it where you guys can hang out, collaborate, ask me questions. I will be putting weekly trainings in there, new content all the time, which will go into the Facebook group and into the membership site. We'll be doing work bees where we work on things that are important for your business. So like little workshops is what that looks like. Some Saturday power hours where you guys get to ask me a bunch of questions. I'm looking at my dancing grannies just cracking the heck up. I don't even know if you can see that on Facebook, but they're funny. And then, of course, you have access to all but one of my courses. So if you want access to the additional course, which is the Brand Clarity course, then you can upgrade to VIP. And with VIP, you actually get access to that. You get the 2 tools that I give only to my coaching clients, and you get a one-to-one with me every month, which is my absolute freaking favorite thing. And the fact that you can go VIP right now, founders rate for only $247 is a steal. You actually keep that rate forever. Like, I'm never going to raise the prices on my founders. Now, if you were to leave and come back, then you would pay whatever the current rate is. But for my founders, you'll be paying $247 forever. So if my hour coaching is, 2 years from now, $1,000, which it probably will be, you're still paying $247 as long as you stuck with it. So, and then the Sue's Crew Elite, with the things that you see in the yellow, That is only $57 a month for founders. Okay, so that I see skyrocketing up to $97 a month pretty soon. So if you want to get in now, or you want to get in by October 1st to get founders rate, I would do that, because I'm going to be piling videos into this thing and trainings and all kinds of stuff. And there's no way mentally that I can charge just $57 for this thing once I add 4 to 5 things a month to it. So get yourselves in there. The link is suzanneproksa.com/p/SuzCrew-elite. That will give you all the deets and let you sign up. Let me know what else I can provide you once you guys grab the freebie, and I will talk to you guys soon. Thank you so much for listening to another episode. I'm so glad you decided to roll with me yet again. Hey, if you loved it, please give me a rating and some little comments on iTunes. And hey, if you're thinking that working together with my crazy self sounds like a fantastic idea, hunt me down, SuzanneProksa.com. That K is before the S. You can find all of my coaching information, my blog, my courses, all of the things, all right in one spot. And with that, I will see you in the next episode, gorgeous.